alive that could have pulled off what Kurt Signetti just accomplished there. Find me a better coach right now. You can't. Find me a better sports story ever right now. You can't. The movies Hoosiers and Rudy were absurd with the liberties the producers took in making those flicks. But this story is even more unbelievable than those movies because it's real. It actually happened. Again, find me a better sports story. I'll wait because you can't. I'm Jim Rome.
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. Wounded Warrior Project was created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war, whether those scars are physical or mental. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. You know, the big wireless companies say they have discounts for people over 55, but unless you're willing to sit on hold and ask, you're probably paying more than you should. At Consumer Cellular, there's nothing to hunt down. We're built for people 50 plus with plans starting at just $20. And our 100% US-based customer service actually answers the phone. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today and get your second month free for a limited time.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party website for additional details.
Now, from Wichita's most listened to sports radio, 97.5 and 1240 KFH, this is Sports Daily.
Aloha, Mr. Hag.
Well, hello there, everybody. Welcome in to Sports Daily. Glad to be with you here on a Hawaiian Shirt Wednesday as we get ready to enter the time of year where you really need them. It's going to be nasty cold coming up in a few days here around the area. So wear them if you got them. Happy Hawaiian Shirt Wednesday to you. KFH hotline's open, 869-1240. You can reach us via our video streams, Facebook, YouTube, X. Leave your comments there. We can put those right out over the air here. Thanks also for watching us on 12 News Connected, listening to us on the Odyssey app. If you are on the Odyssey app, you can also leave us voice messages that we can get to on the show. Glad to be here with you. Jacob Albrock, TJ Cleveland, Max Power producing for you. We've got to get you through what happened last night. Two late games, one really late. K-State, KU, both winners. K-State a 3-point win at home against Utah. KU a 6-point win on the road in Colorado without Bill Sept. We'll get into both of those and get you ready for a shocker game tonight. The NFL coaching carousel continues. A lot to get to with you here, and it's all what's on tap, brought to you by the Wichita Brewing Company, now pouring the brand new seasonal Bach Lager. Bach, yeah, a cold beer that'll give you a warm feeling. Bach Lager available at all three WBC brew pubs, east near Central and Woodlawn, west at 13th and Tyler, and in historic Delano and Handley. Wichita Brewing Company, pizza and beer made here. TJ, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I made the joke yesterday that I was going to be a part of the Triple Zeros Club last night. I was staying up to make it. Did you
How'd that work out for you?
Did you make it?
No.
How late? What was your clock out?
I made it most of the way through the first half.
So I actually watched more of KU than I did of K-State because I just laid down on the couch to start watching K-State, and about 4 minutes into the game, passed out. Woke up with about 30 seconds left in the game. Said, "Oh, nice, they won. Cool."
It was an eventful 30 seconds.
It was. It was. Then I made the transition to bed, turned on KU, watched more KU. I made it till about the 10-minute mark of the second half, and then said, "I can't do it anymore. I got to go. I got to give up." So I wonder how many people out there made it for all 4 hours.
Yeah, let us know. That's a big ask on a school night, let alone like 8 o'clock tips on school nights are already hard because it takes you past 10, right? Getting one started at 10. It was actually like 10:05, I think, by the time it started. Those have got to be Saturday games. Like if you're going to pull somebody out of the Central Time Zone, you got to have those be the Saturday games. That's rough, and it was just too bad too because it's a great game. It sounds like as I'm trying to catch up, watching some late highlights, reading the recap of what happened late as Kansas gets the win 75-69. Some Melvin Council late game muscle puts him over the edge, but as we look at the bird's eye here, what we talked about yesterday holds up. If they take that defense on the road, they'll be just fine. And they do. They hold Colorado under 70 points, and it's enough. They cover the number. And now we're starting to see KU really, I think, find a groove as much as anything else, TJ. That's 3 games in a row now. Peterson, and I know he hobbled off a little bit there. Sounds like that was unrelated to the normal issues, and he's fine. But that's 3 games in a row where they've kind of been together. The rotation that we expect to see, the minute share we probably, for the most part, expect to see, all plays out. And here we go. Like, we're starting to see. Everybody sees it, by the way. Even the guys on the call, they see it too. They're like, yeah, this looks like a really good team when they're going with Peterson.
Yeah. When was the last time? I thought about this morning as I was digging through everything before the show. When was the last time we had 3 local teams in action last night? KU men, K-State men, and Wichita State women. And KU women. All 4 of them won. When's the last time we had that? 2022?
I don't know, man. It's been such a tough basketball couple of years. That's a good question. I'm not sure. Speaking of the Shocker women, as heard over on KYN, our sister station, shout out to Abby Carter and Cater. Sorry about that. And her program record 42 points last night. That's pretty fantastic.
That's good.
Good highlight in the season.
Yeah. I wonder where that one stacks up. It's the most a Shocker woman has ever scored. I wonder if it's the most. Has there ever been like a 50 burger from a Shocker men's player?
That's a good question.
I'll look that up for you. We'll have that answer.
Yeah, Cater. So, we that was one of the games we had on KYN. So that's really cool that, that it happened at the timing that it did. But Cater, I've just watched a few of the plays. She was just cooking, man. They weren't going to stop her. And Shocker women's basketball needed something like that. Needs something to get fired up about. I'm looking at some of the numbers here. 15 of 29 shooting. Taylor Eldridge points out she was averaging 10 points a game. that's good stuff. And they got to win. They got their first conference win that moves them to 1-6. They beat Memphis. So a lot to be happy about there. Just quick shout out to the Shocker women as they battle through a tough year here this year. A good night for them. So all that goes on. We get K-State getting the win. Jerome Tang up in the, doing the cannonball with the fans. And I'm glad everybody enjoyed it. I will say as that game, and we'll dig into it a little further, but just as we're kind of browsing here out of the gates, there was pretty good energy from the fan base last night down the stretch. Pretty good crowd. And there were reasons not to be. I'm shaking my head at some of that. I'm like, are we really fouling? So they foul, like PTSD Oklahoma State, you've got a foul on there. What they're lucky was a 2 and not a 3. And then on that last shot, he left his feet again. And I was like, you got to be kidding me. Like, there's going to be one rule and one rule only. Nobody gets to jump. Nobody leaves their feet here. Goodness gracious. They got the win, though. They come up with it. I don't know that it's a win, TJ, that makes us think, all right, here they go. They're going to go streaking now as they, don't cover the number, or quite frankly, don't come close to covering the number against Utah at home. But a win is a win is a win. And for K-State right now, you take it.
Yeah. It was the anthracite out. Brought the energy last night.
Yeah, I guess
it actually was a decent student section. It was better than I thought it would be on a Tuesday night. But as you said, not one that you're gonna write home about, but it's one, and they didn't have that before the night started. So take them where you can get them.
You have to get to 1, right? You have to get to 1.
You got to get to 1 to get to 2.
That's to get to anything, and so there. I think there probably is some part of like shaking that off now. How many wins, as we looked back, do we think? Would you say Kansas State could have won in conference play? Arizona State, Oklahoma State, and probably this one. Am I forgetting any?
I think that's it. I mean, they got blown out by Arizona. They were in it with BYU, but you don't expect them to win that.
Yeah. So, 1 maybe could be 3. So you don't complain about it. You take it. You take it where you can get it. They've got it's going to take a handful. If something special were to happen, and with 9 losses, there's almost no wiggle room, you'd think. But if something special is going to happen, they're going to have to beat really good teams, not just beat the other team at the bottom of the Big 12 at home by a couple of points. So I don't know. I don't want to like overthink it, but I also don't want to pull away from the fact that they finally got one either. So just K-State got a win that they were supposed to get last night, and that feels pretty good. If you're a K-State fan, does it change the overall outlook? It does not. It'll take a lot more than that. So we'll get into all of this and get you ready for the Shockers tonight as well. Busy college basketball day here on Sports Daily. Thanks to Prairie Fire Coffee for keeping us fueled up as we make our way through. If you stayed up late last night, you're going to need a lot of it. We're coming right back with more right after this.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts, so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
Canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now.
831001 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you
And inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea.
With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite, or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say, drink tea, be happy.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on The Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas Fan Headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospital lies from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
Sports Daily is on KFH.
Welcome back in, everybody. Glad to be here with you. You want to grab an iced tea on us? You sure can right now by entering our contest, an HTO Text to Win contest. So be good for East Wichita, West Wichita, or Derby, and you can enter to get a free cup of tea, more than 25 flavors. All you have to do to win is text the keyword tea to short code 20357. That's TEA to the short code 20357. Each participant can enter once per day. Message and data rates apply. Good luck, everybody, on that HTO giveaway. We come back in on a K-State and KU winning night. Hell, TJ, you wanted to know when the last time we had 4 teams. When was the last time we had 2 teams win? Feels like it's been a minute. It's been a very up and down basketball season. And we'll start you with the Jayhawks. Shreyas Laddha, our KU insider, will join us next hour as well. Help us get all caught up on what's going on with Bill Sept. And Jacques Vaughn gets his first win last night as the, we'll call it, interim coach for a game. He filled in and did a nice job, which is interesting. Probably a side story to get to, that it's Vaughn that gets that assignment. But KU gets the win 75-69 over Colorado. Wasn't a Darren Peterson offensive explosion kind of night, which I sort of thought might happen, but he got his pretty normal 15 shots in a game, scored 16 points in 32 minutes, which is the stat line we've really been watching with him, is how many minutes does he play? And he's been above that 30, it feels like now, comfortably. Rolled his ankle, came back on the floor. Don't think it had anything to do with his cramps or anything. So everything there should be fine. But as they've found their groove with him, they've really found their groove overall. And a 6-point win at Colorado is a really nice win for KU. They kind of like K-State needed one. KU needed their first road one, and it came with some difficult circumstances. Bill Sept wasn't there, and they won anyway. How about 17 and 15 from Trey White? Out of now, most of it came from the free throw line, which is fine. This is a team that is, developing, I think, a personality, TJ, of a little bit of, offensive diversity. I think all of those starting 5 are finding their roles more comfortably. I think your 2 main primary bench players are finding their roles more comfortably. McDowell and Jackson didn't do a ton last night, but it's really starting to fit together for Kansas.
Darren Peterson last night, watching of the first half that I saw, it kind of felt like it was a little bit of, forcing shots and like uncomfortableness. He didn't play that well in the first half. And eventually kind of got a little bit going. But as you said, 6 of 15 from the floor for Darren Peterson standards. We saw him go 11 of 13 last year. You know what I mean? Like, they brought a lot of double teams to him, and I agree. Offensive diversity is probably a good way to put it, especially he goes down with a rolled ankle, which, by the way, come on. We got another point of the Staga here. We got another one. But I believe he finished to triple zeros at the end of the game for the first time.
Yeah. He came back and was fine. And that's happened. There was not Baylor. Remember which game it was. I think it was whatever game it was last week. He had another situation where he came off briefly and came back on, where like it wasn't cramps. It was something. Oh, it was after that dunk attempt, and he went down hard. So, I mean, normally we're not too worried about this stuff, but obviously we are. And we're like, don't do it. But he seems much better the last 3 games now with his normal cramping issues.
It's true. He feels more, and you saw it last week more than you did last night. But he's definitely more explosive. Is the word that everybody keeps using? Is that he's so good at having a quick first step and the quick jump shots and everything like that. And then whenever you're cramping, you have to kind of shift down a gear, if you will. And he looks like he's back to full strength, and you can kind of see it in the way that he plays as well. But as you said yesterday, it was the word that everybody kept using as I keep reading up on what all happened last night is gritty. It was a gritty win because they had to find a way to go do it down the stretch, and Colorado kept hanging around. And Flory played bad in the first half, and Flory finds a way to get double digits in the second half, and an one late, and the Bryson Tiller block down the stretch is kind of what helped seal the deal in this one. And so Jamari McDowell fouled out last night. They rolled basically 7 guys after he fouled out. So it's Colorado. They're only favored by 4.5 though, and it's their first road win since NC State, basically.
Yeah, I mean, look, you take them how you can get them on the road when your head coach is out and it's a 10 o'clock tip, and like all of that stuff is fine. And here's the other thing about Peterson real quick. 6 of 15 feels off, right? It does. And that's not a bad thing. 40% from the field.
True.
There's going to be a lot of nights where you take 40% from the field from Darren Peterson and be just fine.
I think it was more poor in the first half, and then he eventually after he came back from that ankle, he actually figured it out more honestly.
While I was watching the game, it was and it's interesting to watch people call his games because he missed those first 2 floaters and everything, and Frashill's like, I love those looks. Those are great looks. And I'm like, are they great looks? Like, they were kind of contested floaters, but I mean, and I'm going to defer on that stuff because maybe everybody knows with a guy of his skill sets, like, because in the NBA, those are pretty good looks, right? You're like, okay, you'll take that. A quick trigger 3, like, yeah, you'll take that. It just looks a little strange to us in college, right? Like, that's the look you're going to want early in the shot clock, a contested floater. Okay. But I think it's true. I think we're just not used to it for college basketball. We're watching a guy play an NBA style in college already. And so it looks a little different. And that's okay, I think. But I'm going to take 40% from the field from him. Only because Melvin Council ended up making it a Melvin Council game, right? And he's the guy that took over late, which is what we all want to see. We want to see them both have success in a game, and they did. And Council hit all the big shots late. Okay, those are things you'll take with you, I think, to the NCAA tournament, which is all anybody's thinking about with this team. It was pregame or during the game, somebody was like, "It looks like a Final Four team to me," and I just like, that's supposed to be our secret here. Mm-hmm. That's supposed to be what we're thinking because we can see it that not everybody else is realizing because they have 5 losses already this year. Like, just everybody just kind of just keep sleeping there on KU because I think we can all begin to see this has the DNA of a team that can make a run if Peterson's out there healthy.
I was watching last night. The rotation is something to me that is the one thing that just and it's what Bill Sept does. It's the way Bill Sept coaches. He goes short rotations, but whenever you talk about the traits of an upset laden team, like it's whenever you don't have a ton of depth, and unfortunately that's just what Bill Sept likes doing. So Bill Sept has won a national championship. I'm not going to question anything like that, but like if they can roll into a game with only 7 guys, and Flory and Tiller are the only bigs that you play, like that's a recipe. And so like last night, for example, I was watching and Jaden Dawson was in the game and I was looking at him and I was like, is that Trey White? Why is he wearing number 1? Like, who? And I was like, oh, it's Jaden Dawson. I haven't seen him play in a month. Like, Jaden Dawson's on the court.
They don't have room to let Dawson and Rosario go through their growing pains.
I know.
So those 2 probably are going to be the other 2 that at some point will get some minutes because something happens. And it is a Bill Sept thing. I don't have a problem with it. You work your tail off in practice, fight for those 10 minutes, and when you get them, you deliver. And then maybe you start to get them a little more often. But until then, KU's got 5 losses. KU's in 7th place in the Big 12, and they may have moved up last night, but going into last night, like there is no wiggle room to let a couple of young guys work through it. Like, you have to be ready to roll. And I don't fault it at all. Like, I'm good with the 7-man rotation because after the last couple of years, this team is all about making a tournament run. That's it. So they're finally healthy. Let's see what they've got against the Big 12 here. Those other two are going to get a chance to play. Something will happen, whether it's foul trouble, somebody will get nicked up, something will happen, and those two guys are going to be called on. But until it's necessary, just work your tail off in practice and get out there and prove it when you get there. I don't have a problem with the bigs either because they're running 2 centers out there. I mean, Tiller and Badunga, you're running, but I don't want to say 3 guards because I guess Trey White technically would be more of a forward. I don't know. He's kind of a hybrid. But when one of those guys comes out, we know historically Bill Self's perfectly comfortable with 4 and 1 too.
Yeah,
a big and 4 guards out there basically. So I think right now it's fine as long as they're healthy. You hope nothing happens, and if it does, those guys have got to be ready because I don't know that otherwise they're going to play much. Those are the 2 guys I think though.
It is.
But it just looks like what a Bill Self team looks like usually a month from now, where it's pretty whittled down, and you're going to see maybe 8 guys, usually 7 get minutes.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see what it looks like. As you're saying, this is something that like we will see this in March whenever he gets down to it and he's like, I'm sorry, Hunter Dickinson's playing 40. Like, we got to figure out a way to get a win. Like, and so it's an experiment to see what it's going to look like of 3 months of this, basically. And it'll be 4, honestly. They've been doing this since, the tournament. And since Peterson came back, they've been kind of just running these guys out there. So,
all right. 75-69, KU gets the win. They cover to all those who participated in that last night. I actually did. I felt pretty good. I mean, it got down to 3.5 by tip time in some places. Like, I'm like, okay, well, if KU's going to win.
It was 4. Did you get it at 4.5?
I got it at 4. It started at 4.5. I saw by tip time it was down to 3.5.
I saw Council had a dunk with 20 seconds left in the game. They got it to 6. So a lot of people would have missed out on cover down there.
It was tight. It was tight, but they got it done for you. If you were going there, Jacques Vaughn's the coach. What do you think of that?
It's
a lot of people have wondered on this show if Jacques Vaughn is the heir apparent, and those conversations, of course, happening coming off of some frustrating years for fans. I think it's really interesting. I think Jacques Vaughn being there to begin with is really interesting. I think the timing of him being there is really interesting. Not speculating anything, but it was always curious to me for a guy who's been in the NBA, been a head coach in the NBA, all of a sudden come back to be an assistant coach at Kansas. Everybody thought, okay, well, and I'm like, well, guys, hang on. Like, if something happened and Bill Self stepped away tomorrow, and this is when he was, when he was rumored to be coming in. It's like, you're not handing the keys over to one of the top programs in the country to a guy who's never coached college basketball before.
I know. That was an argument that I saw people say that like this is not the audition for the head coach in waiting position for Jacques Vaughn. Like, if Bill Self retired after this year, like, you think KU would go get somebody that's been,
Well, now I think now versus last year is a different scenario, right? That's Jacques Vaughn coming off the streets of the NBA, but coming into college basketball, right? Fresh with hasn't done this before. I think a year later, and again, Bill Self, the hope is everything's fine, but if it wasn't, and he's got to do something different or whatever, I'm kind of interested now all of a sudden in a guy like that connected to the program. It's not like he's never been a coach. I mean, he's been an NBA coach, for goodness gracious, NBA head coach. It's just that he'd never done it in the college level. But the college thing is changing, right? It's no longer as much a recruiting thing as it is roster building. And I've seen a lot of people speculate this too. Could Bill Self, if he's not comfortable with his health or whatever, step aside, kind of be that GM we've seen a lot of people, take on, and somebody else just, I don't know. It is interesting. It's interesting all of a sudden that Vaughn is there, because it was always interesting that he came there. Now it's kind of interesting him being there, why he'd want to be there, other than the fact that he probably loves his alma mater. But I think it's more than that.
I think
it's something to watch.
This is something to me is that everybody always talks about, this was something that was a quote that's been used a ton whenever they got Bill Self, is that like KU is a place that if they call, you pick up the phone. Like Dan
Absolutely.
Hurley would pick up the phone.
Nate
for
Oates
KU.
picks up the phone. Yes,
everybody. You can get basically. You can't. Maybe not get whoever you want, but you can get an interest of anybody that you want around the country. Like you'll get anybody to answer that phone. And so that's the thing is that KU can go land any big fish that they want for this job, and if it were to come open, and Jock Vaughn, being an assistant coach, never done it before, he's probably not as attractive as Nate Oates, if you can find a way to get Nate Oates or whatever. Everybody talked about Todd Golden whenever he was at Florida and all that stuff. But my thought goes to, what if Jock Vaughn was still a head coach in the NBA? What if you lured him away from the NBA to come to KU? Then he'd feel like he's the big attractive piece.
Yeah, I wouldn't have liked that because I want somebody who can navigate the craziness of college basketball.
Yeah, there is craziness of it. But if you, I mean, you could spin it.
When was the last time that worked, by the way?
I know.
A lot of teams have tried it.
I agree. But I'm just saying, in terms of the big hire, it's not as attractive to promote an assistant coach than it would be to lure a coach away from the NBA to come do it. So, like,
Duke did it, and North Carolina did it. They both hired from within. The two other probably biggest programs in the countries, they had coaches in waiting, and that's what they did, right? And those were successful. Bringing in Juwan Howard or bringing in Chris Mullen, or like I'm trying to think of the other NBA to college guys that have come back and it just hasn't worked. Who did Indiana? I think didn't they do it with an NBA guy recently? It just like to me, I see that. And again, this is just me off the top of my head, so fact check away. But it seems like a longer shot for guys to step immediately from the NBA to college and immediately be successful. It seems like college guys have college success. And so, yeah, look, John Shire, longtime assistant, coach in waiting kind of a thing, has had a lot of success at Duke. That's kind of where we've seen some, but that's not the only way to do it, right? Like we see all kinds of paths to being good at this. I think the easiest path is going to get a head coach from another place. But Hubert Davis, right? He didn't have, I'm going to check this. He didn't have anything, but he came back and spent 9 years at North Carolina as an assistant and then just took over. He's been good. It's a path. It's a path for blue bloods lately. Could that be Jacques Vaughn? I think with some time, it certainly could be. I'm not saying right now, I'm not saying next year, but I'm saying if Vaughn really has interest in this and he's over the NBA grind or whatever, and he wanted to do it and he gets some time under his belt as a KU assistant, I'm more inclined to try it out a little bit because it's fantastic if it works.
That's what I'm saying is the fact of like that people think that like we can do so much better than promoting just an assistant coach. It's like, well, that's an assistant coach that was the head coach of the Nets 2 years ago.
Right.
That's my thing.
Who is an alumni, one of the great alumni in program history, by the way, who is an NBA champion, who has a lot to bring to the table now. Now, maybe that doesn't work as well 20 years ago, but right now, guy with NBA connections in a transfer portal world where it's basically 4,000 free agents every year. Okay.
I think if you can convince Bill Self to do a GM job, it's 100%. I'm all on board for that.
Now, I think Bill Self's the best in the business, and I hope that he's perfectly healthy and coaches another 10 years. That's the part. Like, would Jacques Vaughn be willing to wait that long if everything's okay? But we just had a little scare. We'll get Shreyas Laddha's thoughts on that, on what's going on and how concerned we need to be about it big picture. Hopefully it's just everything was literally fine and it was precautionary and it's fine.
We didn't mention this. KU Athletics did say he's planning to coach on Saturday in Manhattan.
Yeah. So we think that everything's good to go, but it is something to pay attention to. We'll come back. We've got more reaction. The coaching carousel in the NFL continues to churn. We have it all for you on Sports Daily.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts, so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
The canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now.
310-1 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you
and inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea.
With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say drink tea, be happy.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on The Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas Fan Headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospital lies from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
Sports Daily is on KFH.
All right, welcome back in, everybody. It is Sports Daily. Thanks to Crestview Country Club for their support of the program as you get into some cold weather and, well, not golf weather. Let's be real honest. It is nice to have the ability to have two fully, complemented simulators, as nice as there is anywhere in town, right there where you can go in the warmth, watch some college basketball, maybe some playoff football. You throw that on in the room, you get on those simulators, you rent them out. I've done that several times this winter. It's a lot of fun. So they've got you covered either way if you're a golf fan. If you're not a golf fan, they've got all the great events and other activities there at Crestview as well. Different kinds of memberships for everybody. Give them a call. Tell them we sent you here from Sports Daily. Glad to be back with you here as KU and K-State both get wins last night. TJ, we get and turn the attention a little bit to the Shockers tonight as they get ready to play, and they had an interesting week. What do you guys? I know you guys talked about this without me. What did you make of the week last week for the Shockers? What was the general consensus on that?
I mean, Florida Atlantic, there were both going to be games that were tough to win. They're both teams, Florida Atlantic and South Florida, that are going to finish near the top of the conference, but Wichita State, as we have said all conference season, is that no matter what happens, you're going to feel like they have a chance to win every single game in the American Conference this year. And so, they were only 3-point dogs at Florida Atlantic, to blow out in that game. Florida Atlantic kind of played their tail off, and Wichita State looked, not very good. And so that was kind of what we took away from that, is that, ball is not going to roll that way every time. Do they lose that game? Yeah, probably like 7 times out of 10, maybe 6 times out of 10. But does it happen where they lose by 20 or down by 30 points at one point? Probably not very often. And then South Florida's a game that, was off the rails, back and forth, everything like that. And that's the one where, it's the opposite of the Charlotte game, basically, I think, is even though they had a big early lead and blew it and gave up a 36-8 run in the middle of the game, which is insane. Like, the fact to be able to see guys, come together, overcome a 13-point deficit, go on a 7-0 run, get into overtime, win it with 20 seconds left. Like, that's something that, you can hang your hat on, as they were like 8-point underdogs in that game. Like, that's the best way to put it, is that's a game that they kind of stole. And, they're going to have to do that because they've dropped a couple that they should have gotten.
Yeah, it's kind of a really bad loss and a really good win, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Man, I just like how do we get that 8 minutes of what seems like every game?
It feels like they are the most, streak, hot streak, cold
Crazy.
streak inducive team. I don't know what the word is there. It's literally like, I've never seen.
I don't think I have either.
It's a game of runs, and everybody talks about how much it's a game of runs, but like Wichita State plays like exclusively in runs, like good runs or bad runs. That's all they do.
And the bad ones sometimes are excruciating. North Texas, the inbound passing issues, like just the weirdest little where you're like, what is happening right now? It's if you look at the American, it's jammed in there. This is an interesting week. They get a couple games at home, which is very very nice. And one of those games is going to be Memphis. Now tonight it's East Carolina. Let's be very honest. East Carolina is not good. The Shockers are big favorites tonight, 12.5-point favorites. East Carolina is really struggling. And then it's a game against Memphis, who we all are, Memphis down here, whatever. Memphis is 4-1 right now in the league. Mm-hmm. So big opportunity this week for the Shockers to pick up a couple of games. And if they do, they'll go from where they currently sit, which is 9th in the American, and they'll probably make a pretty big jump. So it feels to me kind of like a moving week. This is interesting. Last week, before they played the game, was it a Thursday night game? Mm-hmm. I think it was, right? The FAU. The FAU, FAU game. So that was the last show. So as I'm getting ready for that game last week on TV, it dawns on me. We were in the office. I'm like, when was the last time Paul Mills had a winning record in conference play? He hasn't. He's never had a winning record in conference play. Think about that for a second. His record has never been above 500 in AAC play now in year 3.
He got the chance tonight now, right?
He's got the chance tonight. They're 3-3 against East Carolina at home. It could, those like that are interesting to me. Like you get that one, you hold court at home. They'll probably be favored against Memphis at home. They're ahead of Memphis in the net rankings. I mean, in the net and the KenPom. So they're probably going to be ahead of They'll probably be favored to win those two games. Now all of a sudden you're 5-3. You'd probably go from about ninth, I'll guess, to let's call it fifth in the conference over the course of a week. Now you got some momentum going. This team has never talked to Paul Mills about this. We've talked to this team has never, TJ, felt to me like it has much, self-pity in it. Like it doesn't feel sorry for itself. It does get right back in there and get after it. I don't know why we have those bad stretches in games. I have no idea. It doesn't make sense to me. But it does have the DNA of a team that could still, by the end of the day, what did we say the expectation was? Finish top 3 in the AAC? That needed to be. It had to be this year for me. Like you got to at least finish in the top 3 in a down year in the AAC. And I do think they have the horses to do that.
Yep.
Saying that, coming this close to the 18-point loss to Florida Atlantic, you're like, yeah. But I do still think that. You got to do what you got to do this week, though. No more of this silliness. Just crush East Carolina tonight, please. Can we? And can we get to the Memphis game? That game against Memphis is going to be a blast on Saturday.
KenPom has the Shockers as 2-point favorites against Memphis right now.
That's and that'll hold up. That'll be the case then.
So it is. Moving week is a good way to put it. It definitely feels like, and that was the thing that, we brought up after the Rice loss, is that like, that's a punch in your gut, man. But like, you can get it right back. And that's the thing. And that's what Paul Mills was saying, and like why they're never going to be like, oh, that one hurt. Cause like, you talk about the conference race and everything like that, they shouldn't have won at South Florida. Then that, you can wipe away the Rice loss, basically, if you do things like that. Right now, KenPom has them sitting at only 3 losses the rest of the way. And so that would put them at a 12-6 record, I believe. And then if you can steal any of those, you know what I'm talking about? Like, I don't know what the winner of this thing is going to have. Memphis historically has only walked away with 1 or 2 losses, but as we keep saying, it's a down year for Memphis. I wouldn't be shocked if they ended up with 4.
Yeah. Again, the bad losses have been bad. They've been real bad. Like, real bad. It's Rice, which is inexcusable. It's blowing it against Charlotte, who's up near the top of the standings in the league right now, by the way. And then just getting crushed by FAU. They haven't just had a, oh, shucks, kind of a loss. Like, they've all in their own different ways been excruciating losses. And it doesn't seem to shake them. Following all of those losses, well, I guess Rice did come right after Charlotte. So, they either way, they've bounced back. They had those losses, by the way, in the non-con too, DePaul with the free throws, right? Colorado State was a game we feel like they should have won. St. Mary's, Boise State, like they're not immune to just like emotionally draining losses, but it hasn't all year seemed to be a thing that lingers much. I don't know. Maybe Rice was a lingering loss game. I don't know. I still, that one makes no sense to me. But other than that, it's a team that bounces back nicely. That's a great quality. Cool. Neat. I like it. I'm glad that they do. Now, can they be a team that just goes and wins a bunch of games they're supposed to win?
No.
Because, again, let's look at the schedule here. They'll be favored in both games this week. I'll be real curious to see what happens with the Tulsa game. Tulsa is the highest net team in the conference. I don't know. Does KenPom have them the highest? Do you have KenPom?
I think so. I believe so. Yeah, I'll double check.
That'll be close to a pick'em. They'll be favored at home against Charlotte, I'd betcha. They'll be favored on the road against Tulane, I'd betcha. They'll be favored at home. They'll be favored at home in every game. They'll be favored at East Carolina. It probably won't be favored at Memphis. Might be a pick'em. They'll certainly be favored at UTSA. The Shockers, I'll say this. I'll bet you they're favored in all but maybe 3 of their games. Probably more like 2.
Yep.
The rest of the way. So how many of those can you go in? Right? Because again, they're not building an at-large resume here. It doesn't really matter. They could win all of the rest of their games. And I don't think it's an at-large resume with 8 losses in this league. So That doesn't mean you don't want, like, go win the league. And then we'll see what happens in the conference tournament when we know it's, you got to win that tournament to get in. I do like their chances on neutral floor games. I don't like what would happen against FAU if they had to play them again. But for the most part, if you're a Shocker fan, and we have a coworker who listens to the show, is a lot of fun, is a big Shocker fan. And it's like, oh, well, great. They won that big one. Now they're going to go lose. But I hope that fans can at least enjoy the good wins. You know what I mean? Like, I get it. It's frustrating holistically to not be where anybody wants the program to be. But going to South Florida and winning a game like that in overtime, like, you can be excited about that. That's okay. Like, it's okay to get excited about that.
Yeah. I mean, it's true. That's the thing. And that's the last week was kind of a microcosm of Wichita State, as you are saying, to your point. You lose a silly one and you win a big one, basically. And that's kind of what we've seen the last couple of years, but we've seen a little bit more of losing silly ones. So if you can buck the trend, this year and just win the games that you need to win, and like, if they honestly, like, as an observer, the goals kind of took a punch in the chest when you lost to Charlotte and Rice back-to-back. If they can just win every game that they're favored in the rest of the way, like,
they may win.
I'll be content.
Yeah. Well, yeah, me too. I don't think it's not going to happen, right? I'm not going to let myself.
If they win all the games that they're favored in, if they lose 3 more games,
we've been watching this for 2.5 years. I hope it happens, but I'm not going to sit here and say it's going to happen. It's not.
I'm not going to sit here and bang my chest and say, like, how did the Shockers not win the league this year? Like, come on. And, like, could they have? Yeah, they definitely could have. They're like one of the best odds to win the league because it's a down year and it's a good team. But based on where they're at right now, having 3 losses before we've hit the month of February, it's going to be a tough thing to do. I'm just saying, like, if they can beat East Carolina, Charlotte, Tulane, East Carolina, Temple, UTSA, and then, that gives them about, 3 they're going to lose and 3 that are up in the air, basically. Like,
I don't change my expectations for them based on what we've seen through basically 20 games at all. My expectation is for them to still be in the top 3 of this league. They're right there. They're a game, I guess, 2 by tiebreaker. They're right behind. They're a game behind Charlotte.
Yeah.
For 3rd in the league right now. And they play Memphis, who's in 2nd.
I think the better way to put this, and maybe it's, wishful thinking or maybe too much, I don't know, but, like, 3rd place in the league feels like more of an expectation than I guess that's what you said. It feels like more of a disappointment if they finish middle of the pack.
I agree. It is a disappointment. Like, we cannot ever be at the place where saying, boy, I think this is a team that could finish in the top 3 of the American Athletic Conference is, like, wishful thinking for Wichita State basketball.
Yes,
like, that is not okay. Like, that should always be the expectation.
That needs to be the baseline.
The expectation should be to win this league every single year. And okay, they've got every opportunity to go finish in the top 3 of this league this year, which was the goal for me anyway. At the beginning of the year, it's right there in front of them. 2 games at home this week will do a lot for them. You'll hear the game tonight over on KYN. When we come back, we'll talk a little football on the other side. Don't go away. We got more Sports Daily right after this.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts, so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
The canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood, written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now.
310-1 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you.
And inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea.
With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say drink tea, be happy.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on The Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas Fan Headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospital lies from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
Now, from Wichita's most listened to sports radio, 97.5 and 1240 KFH, this is Sports Daily.
Aloha, Mr. Hyde.
Welcome back into another hour of Sports Daily here on KFH. Jacob Albrecht and TJ Cleland in with you. We've recapped a little college basketball. KU with a road win last night in Colorado without head coach Bill Sept. We'll have Shreyas Laddha coming in later in the show to discuss the update to Bill Sept, what we saw last night. K-State with a win last night, their first in Big 12 conference play. We got you ready for a Shockers matchup tonight against East Carolina as 12-point favorites in that one. Jacob, as we return here in the second hour, some NFL news from Adam Schefter an hour ago. The Bills requesting a head coach interview with Brian Dable.
You brought it up yesterday. It makes some sense, I think. How good is that job?
Good.
you obviously get Josh Allen, but you've got an aging roster and the expectation that you better be in the AFC Championship game or Super Bowl every year. I think it's perfect opportunity for a guy like Dable. But for some of these other bigger names, like Mike Tomlin just stepped away from that expectation. Like, is Josh Allen enough to meet that? Probably so. I think you always start with the quarterback. There's a lot of NFL coaching news. We'll get to all of it, all what's on tap, brought to you by the Wichita Brewing Company, now featuring chili for a limited time. Hearty beef, no bean chili, perfect for lunch, and now available at all 3 WBC locations, East, West, Historic, Delano. Wichita Brewing Company, pizza and beer made here. We saw McDaniel. McDaniel looking like he's going to be offensive coordinator of the Chargers. Would you rather be the offensive coordinator of the Chargers or the head coach of the Browns?
It's a good question.
Or the head coach of the Cardinals? Would you rather go work with Justin Herbert for a year on a team that, maybe someday doesn't be the ultimate snake-bitten injury team in football? Or would you rather go be a head coach right away if you're a guy? I actually think for McDaniel, if you got a chance to actually go be a head coach again right away, you should probably take it. You should probably take that chance because I think the shine on him is going to wear off. Maybe not. And this would be the opportunity, go into, Coach Herbert and be a part of that is probably a good idea. But think about the way the Chargers have played offense, TJ.
Yo.
Is McDaniel a good fit there? I mean, that means you're going to change everything if you're bringing him in to be the offensive coordinator.
What's changed? How do you feel like the Chargers play football?
Not fast, not like the Dolphins.
It's true. It's not fast.
They
like to throw the ball.
It's a very reserved, old school. We're going to try to run it on first and second down and pick up a third down through the air with Herbert kind of an offense.
Maybe it'll change.
They've been building that offensive line. They drafted Omari and Hampton. I don't know that it's anything close to the Dolphins of Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Devin Achane, run, speed. So I don't know. It's an interesting fit, and maybe it does mean they're going to change, but it's a curious one to me, and I'm a little surprised he's been rumored to get some of those. But we'll take you through the latest there. We've got some baseball news, TJ.
Mm-hmm.
How much does Carlos Beltran move? And I was way before your time, which is so weird for me to say out loud that Carlos Beltran was way before your time, but he's way before your time. Were you even born when he started playing for the Royals? When were you born?
2001.
Good Lord. You.
I remember watching him as a Met. I don't remember him watching him as a Royal. I remember watching him as a Met.
Sure, because he played forever, right? He played for the Royals before you were born. That is crazy to me. Carlos Beltran was like in my most impressionable baseball years. I was a teenager when he was with the Royals. Back in 1998, he got things started all the way to 2004. Mets. It's funny with the Mets that everyone thinks of him as a Met. He spent less time with the Mets than he did with the Royals. He actually spent the most time with the Royals. We all assume he's going to put a Met on. And it, he who did he win his World Series with? The Astros, right? Yeah, the Astros.
Yeah.
At the end of his career. He was the Rookie of the Year way back when. He deserves to be a Hall of Famer, 100%. 9-time All-Stars typically do, in my opinion. The thing is, he was Rookie of the Year with the Royals, but a lot of his accolades and accomplishments came after his Royals. None of his All-Star appearances. 2004, his last year, maybe he was an All-Star with the Royals. I mean, I think that might be right. But for the most part, most of it came other places. What are the chances he wears a Royals hat? He spent the most time there.
I know, but I think...
And he didn't win his World Series with the Mets.
People talked about, though, as you're saying, most of his accolades came when he was kind of on the Mets, all of his all-star type of things. And I think that, he made the playoffs with the Mets and he didn't do that with the Royals. And so it'll probably be a Mets hat if I had to imagine. But It brings up the interesting conversation, though, of is George Brett still the only guy in the Hall of Fame with the Royals hat on?
Well, Salvi will be.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is Salvi will be the second one.
I'm going to have to check that.
I think George Brett's the only career Royal in.
I didn't lock into the Royals until the last 13 years. I always liked the Royals.
I was Saberhagen isn't. I don't think.
No,
he'd be the only one.
It's Brett, and we'll find out. The guess is that Beltran wears a Mets hat.
Yeah.
It's Brett right now, and it'll be Salvi. Man, is it a shoe? It's got to be a shoe in, or everybody wouldn't be saying it against about Beltran. I don't know who I'd put him in. Those split hats. Can you do that? It wasn't like he was a Met for. He was a Met for like a contract, and he was a Royal for more years. That's what's so crazy. And then he bounced around everywhere, and he was great. He was a great player for a lot of teams. Hall of Famer for sure, but that's kind of one you man. I wish he could have thrown a Royals hat on there. He won't. It'll probably be the Mets. It'll be Salvi. Salvi will be the next one, and then hopefully Bobby Witt Jr. If you're a Royals fan. I mean, those would be the ones. Greinke? Is Greinke going to wear a Royals hat?
That'd be interesting. I think he would.
Oh man, now we're in a rabbit hole. Is that Greinke going to wear a Royals hat?
I think so. I don't know. What all did he do at the other places?
Well, he won a World
Cy
Series.
Young in Kansas City, and he came
got a
back.
World Series. We're gonna pull this up real quick. This is where I love living in these baseball rabbit holes like this. All right. So the Royals he spent the most time with for sure. He was an all-star only once with the Royals. His Cy Young was with the Royals. He didn't win a World Series. Did he not win a World Series? I guess he didn't win a World Series. All his Gold Gloves came later. His ERA titles. He had his Cy Young year was with. He's got to go as a Royal, doesn't he? By far the most time there. He bounced around too. Most time with the Royals. Yeah, he'll go in as a Royal.
Let me see.
He'll go in as a Royal.
Quiz me real quick. I want to try my Greinke knowledge. It was Royals, Brewers, Diamondbacks, Dodgers,
Angels, then
Angels, Dodgers. It was LA, then
Diamondbacks,
Diamondbacks,
Astros, Royals. Yeah,
Astros, Royals. Yeah, I remember that. I remember that Brewers trade. I remember that Brewers trade like all get out. I was distraught.
Yeah, I bet you were. I'll bet you were.
But then my automatic new favorite player became Unieski Betancourt that came over in that trade.
He was good. He's a good player.
I like Betancourt.
Yeah. So you'll get Greinke. So it'll go Brett, Greinke, Salvi, and then hopefully Bobby Witt Jr. That's not too bad. That's not too bad to get full. But it's been a long time. Yeah. Carlos Beltran gets in. I know Royals fans remember him fondly. Beltran's awesome. Just a really interesting, complete player for a long, long time in baseball. And I'm glad he's going to be a Hall of Famer. How about this nugget that came out in that? Did you see he and Andrew Jones, the other one, who also, by the way, why are we debating about Andrew Jones? Like, if we don't value defense, what are we doing in baseball? It's half the game. First center fielder since 1981. Sorry. Let me rephrase that. Since 1981, there have only been two other center fielders into the Hall of Fame. Can you name them?
Played
one
since
is
1981?
Super obvious. Yeah.
Played or inducted since 1981?
Inducted since 1981.
Oh. One is super obvious. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Ken Griffey Jr.
Oh, yeah. Okay, center fielder, yeah.
You probably aren't going to get the other one. Great player of my childhood, though. Kirby Puckett. So Ken Griffey Jr. and Kirby Puckett, the only center fielders other now than Jones and Beltran to go into the Hall of Fame. To me, it's a little bit of a disservice. It's one of the most important positions in baseball. You're telling me we hadn't had Hall of Famers since Ken Griffey Jr. before now? That's a hard one for me to swallow.
Yeah.
I tend to want to be a little more inclusive in the Hall of Fame than most, but that's pretty wild to think about. That'd be like no shortstops. Like what? No catchers. Like what are we doing here? How is that possible? It's a center fielder.
Do we have a center fielder currently that's going into the Hall of Fame? Is Mike Trout going to go in?
Yes, Trout will go
so?
in. I'm gonna have to think. I can't get you that on the spot. Trout will go in.
I mean, Trout's not as shoo-in as he used to be. It's an interesting conversation.
Yeah, he's been one of the best WAR players of all time. He's going in. We'll come back. I don't know that we'll spend a lot of time on that, but I'm gonna think about that during the break.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts, so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
Canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now.
831001 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you.
And inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea.
With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say drink tea, be happy.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on The Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas fan headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospital lies from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
This is Sports Daily on KFH.
On your way into work, want to keep listening to Sports Daily even after you park the car with the Odyssey app and Odyssey.com. You can just download the app or visit Odyssey.com, search for KFH. Don't forget, you've got Shocker basketball tonight on KEYN, 6 o'clock. Coverage begins for the Wichita State men back home, East Carolina. Heavy favorites tonight. Butler basketball here at 7:15. All right, we had the quick question. Carlos Beltran in the Hall of Fame. Only the second center fielder, along with his fellow inductee Andrew Jones, to be inducted. Griffey and Puckett, the only other center fielder since 1981, which seems crazy. Mike Trout is a surefire Hall of Famer. Here's what's crazy, TJ. You asked if Trout, and he's kind of where do you think? Just wild guess here. All-time WAR right now. Trout, who is only 34 years old. Where do you think he sits all time in career WAR right now?
If you're asking me the question, I'm going to imagine it's pretty high. I will say 29th.
No, that's pretty crazy, but no, it's not that far off. He's 49th right now. Career, all time. And he's played through his age 33 season. That's what's crazy. Right? Now, he's not going to, there was a time where we wondered if he'd challenge some of those all-time WAR guys, and some injuries have kept him down a little bit. But Mike Trout, through only 15 seasons, is at this level. He'll get much higher. Hopefully he can play and have a rejuvenation. He may end up being the top center fielder. I believe Mickey Mantle is the highest on that. But Trout will certainly be a Hall of Famer. Here's the other one that I'm curious about. If we're talking about center fielders, Mookie Betts will be a Hall of Famer for sure. But is he a center fielder? He's played everywhere. Like, he's a utility guy. What does he get technically listed as? I went and looked during the break, like, where is he logged? The most, he's logged far more innings in right field than center field. But when I go to Baseball Reference, they're calling outfield where he's spent a lot. So I don't know if that's being broken down specifically or what. But here, late in his career, he's been an infielder. So I don't know where he'll get listed. But Mookie Betts will also be a Hall of Famer. For sure. No doubt about it. Last year was the first time he hadn't been an all-star in what feels like forever. I think he's not been an all-star only 2-3 times in his illustrious career. So he'll be a Hall of Famer too. I just don't know if he'll be a center fielder, but those would be the two guys for sure that will get it. I don't think there's anybody else right now. For my money, you put my boy Kenny Lofton in there. I need him in. I love Kenny Lofton. Man, he was awesome. He's probably as close as anybody else. He's not a Hall of Famer, but I loved Kenny Lofton.
He's been like lobbying for it too, I've seen.
He could have like a Tim Raines track, maybe. Kind of similar there. Anyway, it's not baseball season. But Carlos Beltran, tip of the cap. Glad he got in. A lot of time as a Royal. Pretty cool moment there. But he'll probably be wearing the Mets hat. All right, let's go back to some of these football things, TJ. This has been a really interesting carousel. If I told you at the beginning of the season, Sean McDermott, John Harbaugh, and Mike Tomlin would all be looking for new jobs at the end of the year, you'd have called me insane, certifiably. But that's what we have. The rest you could kind of see coming, I think. I think those are the three that really shock us. Which of the jobs is the best job? Knowing now that Buffalo is one of the jobs, and, despite the fact that some places have hired coaches, all of that aside, it's the best job.
Best job open right now?
Best job that's been open. Not that's open right now, because some of them have been filled. What is the best job? Is it the Bills?
The Bills. Yes, it's the Bills.
It's the Bills, not the Ravens?
Yes.
I think it's probably the Ravens. Now, that doesn't mean I think Lamar Jackson's better than Josh Allen or anything. I think he's as good. When they're both on, they're probably about equal for me. The Ravens, I do think, have been positioning themselves, though, through the draft and through some rebuilding for longevity. I also think that the next coach of Baltimore isn't going to be expected to immediately. Now they'll be hopeful. I think the expectations in Buffalo are higher than they are in Baltimore. It's partly because Baltimore maybe had a bad year this year, but Derrick Henry will be done pretty soon, and all of these things. For Buffalo, James Cook, the NFL rushing champion. You got Josh Allen. You know, I think the expectation is going to be like Super Bowl or bust. How long a leash are they going to give the next coach? If it's Dable, let's say, in 3 years, if the first 2 they don't even reach an AFC championship game, you just fired Sean McDermott.
Yeah. I agree. I think that McDermott had such a long leash is because he's the one that took him out of being, not good. And that's the thing.
Yeah, McDermott's been awesome.
I know. I mean, it's the argument of, Penn State's the one that keeps coming to mind here. Like James Franklin brought him out of all the dark times of all the scandal and everything that was going on and made him relevant again. And they did all this stuff. And then he was so good at it. And then he never got over the hump and they fired him and tried to get somebody else that can do it now. And so now, you think about that job. How long does Matt Campbell get before they fire Matt Campbell? Like it's the NFL coaching carousel this year is just replicating the college model of saying like, hey, you made us pretty good, but you didn't make us that good. And now we're really good, but not that good. So now we need to find somebody else that can see if they can make us that good.
To try to compare those two things, Matt Campbell takes that job because he'll be in a position to get the best players, which he wasn't at Iowa State. The NFL doesn't. I think they're hard to compare.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, I understand why coaches, kind of to a degree. I understand why coaches get fired at that level of success that they've had. Like, Brian Kelly getting fired from LSU.
I
like,
do too.
In the NFL, it's more, asinine when that happens because most of the time it's like, well, what'd you want him to do? Look at the roster. He doesn't make those decisions.
Yeah, look, but I think that's because you think the roster's been good enough. Look,
exactly.
The Eagles fired Andy Reid, the most successful coach they'd ever had, and it worked out for him. Worked out for Andy Reid too.
Mm-hmm.
But I think when you look at the Tomlin thing has been brewing for a while. So it doesn't surprise me. The Harbaugh one surprised me at the time until you hear that maybe there was a little bit of rift with Lamar Jackson and Harbaugh. And then you're like, okay, well, maybe that makes sense. The McDermott one, man, I just like Buffalo has dominated that division until this year with the Patriots now in a position. Max's Patriots. Tip of the cap, Max. I haven't even had a chance to tell you congrats on your trip to the AFC Championship game and probably Super Bowl. They've made 2 AFC Championship games, lost to the Chiefs both times. They've lost to the Chiefs 4 coming into this year, 4 out of the last 5 years in the playoffs. They lost to the Bengals in the year, I believe that wasn't the year the Bengals won the Super Bowl, but either way, he's had a ton of success. He's had nothing but success. He's had 1 losing season in 9, and that's it. In 9 seasons, he's won the division 5 of the times, made the playoffs 8 of the times. It wasn't all with Josh Allen, as we talked about last week. McDermott is the guy now that I go hire immediately if I'm any other team. Like, if I'm any other team, I'm trying to get my hands on McDermott.
Really?
Because I think he's got, I think incorrectly, everyone just assumes the only reason Buffalo has been really good is because Josh Allen is a superstar. And while Josh Allen is a superstar, McDermott had Buffalo pretty good before he even became the starter, or certainly before he became a superstar. If it's all like, if I'm any of these other jobs right now, McDermott's the guy I'm trying to get hard more than anybody else.
I'll ask
except
you
maybe
this.
Tomlin, but I don't think Tomlin's going to coach.
I was going to say, where does McDermott rack up of John Harbaugh and Kevin Stefanski and Mike Tomlin?
I'd take him over Stefanski.
Really?
I'd take him. Yeah, because Stefanski, you're still betting on what might be, right? Like, the Browns haven't been good. You just think he's probably pretty good and has been a little bit snake bitten. But did he let Baker Mayfield walk out the door? He did, didn't he?
I don't know. Is that his decision?
Well, yeah. I mean, when you're the head coach, yes. I don't think your general manager's saying, I don't care what you think, we're going to change quarterbacks on you. No, of course, yes, he's been a part of that decision. I mean, we all love and I actually like Stefanski too, who's now the Falcons head coach. In 6 years, they made the playoffs twice. They never won the division. He was 11 games under 500 as a head coach. I can't compare that to Sean McDermott. I'm sorry, like I can't do it. No way. So yes, I'd take him over Stefanski. Harbaugh, Tomlin, it's a little bit different, but honestly, like he's right there. I mean, I think you have the conversations with all three of them, but I think McDermott has a chance, real good chance, to like be the Andy Reid of the group. The other two make sense because Andy Reid spent so much time in Philadelphia, but I mean, McDermott, Harbaugh got fired after a bad year, right? Tomlin stepped away, but that has been a pressure cooker for at least 3 years. Harbaugh got fired after a bad year. McDermott didn't have a bad year. They won a playoff game this year.
It's true.
He hasn't had a bad year other than his second year in the league, and it was still not that bad. Certainly not to the level of disappointment that you would classify like the Ravens this year. So, yeah, like if I'm any of these other jobs, if I'm the Dolphins, oh, come on. They give me Sean McDermott right now.
No,
if I'm
true.
the Cardinals, please. Like these
I guess it's true. But like I'm wondering, like, would the Ravens do something like that, you think?
Maybe.
Where do the Ravens go? It's such a weird...
The Ravens have got to figure out. The Ravens are in a pretty unique spot, I think. You got to get inside the head of Lamar Jackson a little bit. Like, what are we what was it that caused a disconnect? I don't know. I mean, it seems like it's just that John Harbaugh wasn't interested in like designing an offense the way that in a unique way. I don't know. Like maybe that would be a place where like you take a dart with McDaniel and say, hey, bring that energy to this offense and let's see what happens. I guess. I don't know. I don't know what the Ravens do. I think you got to get with Lamar, figure out what that disconnect was, and just kind of look at that and think, okay, but you're going all in on Lamar if you're there. Like what is the best? Because you're going to lose Derrick Henry at some point. That's not easy to replace. Like, what are we going to be able to do? But I do think they have been drafting a bunch of young, talented defensive players. If it's a perfect world and I'm in Baltimore, I would marry a defensive-minded head coach to an offensive coordinator that fits Lamar Jackson. That's what I would do. Like, hey, Cliff Kingsbury. What about Cliff Kingsbury? I mean, it wouldn't be what Ravens fans wanted, but if you're going all in strictly on Lamar, Kingsbury's shown you he's been able to work with quarterbacks.
That's the bigger question that I have is what do Ravens fans want? Like,
well, they want to win a Super Bowl.
Well, I know that, but like you can't fire John Harbaugh and go get a better head coach.
No, I think I would go defensive-minded head coach and throw a whole bunch of money at a guy like Cliff Kingsbury to come be the offensive coordinator. Hey, you want to come work with Lamar?
Why don't you just hire Cliff Kingsbury to be the head coach?
You could, but Cliff Kingsbury doesn't have a good track record of being good at that. Both at Texas Tech and with the Arizona Cardinals. So, I think you can. That's what I would hire a defensive-minded head coach because I think that's where they have to have the most change, and then bring an offensive coordinator that fits with or complements Lamar's style is what I would do if I was the Ravens. If I was Buffalo, I would probably bring in an offensive-minded head coach because McDermott's a defense guy, and I'd probably start there. How do we infuse a little life into this offense? Best running offense in football. Let's try to spice it up a little bit, and then just see what happens with the defense. Kind of the opposite there. Pittsburgh. God, what do you do in Pittsburgh? I don't even know what you do in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's not as attractive a job to me right now as Baltimore or the Bills. Yeah, Rick says that he's seen rumors of Lamar being traded to Vegas. Boy, Rick, we have never seen a trade package that high. if that were to happen. What would that take? I don't think that's going to happen.
First overall pick?
Well, obviously. It would take 3 years of firsts and seconds probably. Like go look at what the Rams did to get Stafford and some of these other like it would take it's not going to happen. Why would you trade Lamar Jackson if you're the Ravens? That would be crazy. Unless he's hurt or something, which seems, that's a little strange, but I don't know. I'm probably taking Baltimore then Buffalo. I think if my goal was to win a Super Bowl as fast as I possibly could, that would probably be my order. Baltimore then Buffalo. That's maybe riskier because Baltimore had a bad year, but Buffalo feels a little more aged out to me than Baltimore does. Besides Josh Allen, obviously. Josh Allen's a superstar. Dable to Buffalo's interesting. He's pretty good. He had a pretty good year. He's not pretty good. I don't know that he's pretty good. He might be really bad. But he had that 1 year where you're like, okay. And he's got the connection, obviously, to the Bills. Who's taking the Dolphins' job?
When did they fire Dable? It feels like they fired Dable a year ago.
It feels like they should have fired Dable 2 years ago.
I'm just saying. Was he the first one?
I think so.
He was the first domino to fall, I believe.
Yeah.
No, I think it was the Titans.
No, yeah, the Titans have an in-season firing.
Dable was fired in the season.
Titans were first, I think.
Yeah.
And then Dable. Dable made it through 10 weeks. Yeah, I don't think the Titans made it 10 weeks. I don't know. Dable was 20-40. Like, hang on. Like, Dable was 20-40 in his career. Like, Dable made it to a divisional championship game in a year he finished third in his division. He was 9-7-1. I don't know that that's a good enough sell for me if I'm Buffalo.
The only reason
that much?
Exactly. The only reason they'd hire him is because of what he did in Buffalo as an offensive coordinator.
But you'd be better off just promoting Brady at that point.
That'd be so interesting if they fired their head coach to promote the offensive coordinator. Like, that feels like the most counterintuitive thing.
But it's a possibility, right? I mean,
it's weird because Brady might become a head coach somewhere else, and it's like, you know, let that happen. He's right there.
The NFL coaching carousel, man, it never quits being interesting. And Buffalo, Baltimore, and Pittsburgh came on the market. Where's Cincinnati? Where are you at, Cincinnati? Let's just finish this thing off. Let's just make all the good.
I didn't bring this up yesterday. One of the TV guys from Cincinnati brought this up. There's only 2 coaches that were tenured in the 2022 in the AFC that are still with their teams, and it is Zach Taylor and Andy Reid.
Since 2022,
every other coach in the AFC has gotten fired or left.
No, that can't.
I swear, it is.
Whoa.
14 teams have gotten a new head coach within the last 3 years in the AFC.
D'Amico Ryans hadn't been there that long?
I think he was that next year.
Sean Payton must have been that next year. That's crazy. We're coming right back. More Sports Daily. Shreyas Laddha next.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts, so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now. 83101 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you.
And inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea.
With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say drink tea, be happy.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on The Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas Fan Headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospitalized from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
KFH.
All right, welcome back in, everybody. It is Sports Daily here on KFH. Jacob Albrock, TJ Cleveland, glad to be with you. Should be getting Shreyas Laddha. I suppose I should have asked if he had the late trip back from Boulder. Not sure if he went on the road with the Jayhawks last night, but we can rib him appropriately. Up there he is. There's Shreyas. We've got Shreyas coming in right now. Shreyas, did you make the trip last night? I just was saying I should have asked. Like, you're not coming back from Colorado at 2 a.m., are you?
No, I didn't. My partner Gary Bedore was out there.
Got it. All right. So Shreyas Laddha at SHRE98, be reporter for KU football, basketball. Before we get to the game last night, let's get to the news. Bill Sept, his under the weather condition. We know scanner traffic indicated chest pains at Allen Fieldhouse. Is everything okay? Like, I know it's a scary situation anytime we're talking about Bill Sept with his recent, health scares, but are we, from what you understand, like, are we good now? It was just a scare and it's all business as usual moving forward, or is this something that could linger?
I think we're good for now at the moment. KU said he's back and home, and he looks to be ready to coach these guys in the next couple of days. I think, there is some question of like what exactly happened because there isn't a lot of details that have come out, and I've heard different things. So I don't really want to speculate on exactly what it is at the moment. But with Self, I think it is a little bit of a worry because now this is the fourth incident since 2022. I know one of them was publicly reported, but Vahe Gregorian had written about some of his heart issues, I think, back in 2022 as well. As so that's this is the fourth thing. So to me, even if he is good to go, I think this is kind of a reminder and the fragility of how things can rapidly change anytime. Just because he's dealt with a lot of health issues in the last few years. Obviously, had stents put in this past summer. He missed the 2023 postseason because of heart issues and stents being put in, etc. I hope he's doing well, and I guess it's a scary thought, especially if anyone who's a fan of college basketball, a fan of the Jayhawks, but just in general, you never want to see something like that happen and occur. So something to monitor, I think, just because of the number of incidents that happened in recent years.
Yeah, it's scary for sure. I'll ask you this because I remember you wrote a story. You talked to, a cardiologist basically about everything that's happening here. And we just kind of lived it in Wichita. Paul Mills just had a scare. He had stents put into his, artery after a heart scare there. The consensus is that we've talked a lot on the show is that, stents sometimes, maybe typically, if you want to say that, kind of fix things. They get the blood pumping and you feel like a teenager basically whenever you have that kind of thing happen. To me, that's kind of the concern that there was another thing. But again, there's foreign substance in your, arteries and everything like that. I'm sure that things happen like that. Just take us back to whenever you talk to them. Could this thing arise again? Or is this kind of a surprise?
Yeah, I mean, the stents thing, when I talk to the heart surgeon, it's like, it's not a big deal. There are guys who get stents put in all the time. And, it's not because of stress or something like playing, coaching college basketball. Because the guy joked with me, he was like, well, if it was a stress related thing, I'd have like 10 stents right now. I'm a heart surgeon, which makes sense, And he said, it can help kind of, activate the blood flow, make things easier. It's not something we're necessarily concerned about. But obviously, it's not something you constantly want to have added on, right? You don't want more and more stents in a short period of time, just because that it could be a concerning trait of something bigger. Theoretically, what this did this past summer should have helped him. I don't know what the exact thing is this time. It could be, it seems to be more chest-related things with this kind of hospital stay. I think the way KU worded things was a little interesting to me. They said that he went to the hospital out of the abundance of caution. I personally don't really know of anybody who's gone to a hospital out of the abundance of caution, I guess.
Look, I think it happens. It's a personal medical issue. We know that
100%.
We know, and that makes it, and which is totally fine, by the way. I think if there wasn't a history of heart issues, this is a very different conversation, but there is. And so, I think out of concern more than anything else from everybody, it's like, man, is Coach okay here? Are we clear of the heart issues? Because they pop up. I've told TJ this, and my dad did this for 3 years. He did this every year. It was boom, boom, boom. They took him that long to finally get things, and then he was good for 20 before anything popped back up. But I don't know that Self's totally out of the clear. So I think it's a fair thing to wonder.
No,
and try not to pry into personal matters, but there's a history of it here. So is he okay? I think is where this is all born for people.
I completely agree. And I think it's one of those things that once we know a little more of the details from his mouth or KU, I think it's a little easier to kind of assess on, is this something to be concerned about? To me, my concern is now this is the fourth incident since 2022, right? Yeah. I think that's more the worry than what it is. If it is a heart-related thing, then you're kind of asking yourself, okay, is this going to be something that he's going to have to worry about if he does coach another year or 2 years or whatever, how many years it is? Or does this move up the time at all? Like, there's so many things we have to think about if this is something heart related, which it looks like it to be, but we haven't really had anything confirmed yet publicly from KU or Self himself.
There is also a chance, for the record, that out of an abundance of caution because of his heart, they checked on it that way and it had nothing to do with it. Like, that's totally possible.
Yeah,
too.
absolutely.
Like when you're hypersensitive to what shortness of breath or fatigue can do to you because of that, and we have no idea. You're right, until Bill said, and he'll tell us. Like, he'll tell us the next time he talks, whether that's this week or after the game Saturday. Like, he'll clear it up. But we all just want to know that he's going to be okay more than anything else.
The biggest story to take away from it, Shreyas, from last night, Fran Fraschilla basically says he's going to coach on Saturday, and then KU Athletics, kind of later confirms it as basically the timeline that I kind of followed along there. I don't know if Gary got confirmation out in Colorado or something like that, but it sounds like he's going to coach on Saturday.
Yeah, I think that's a really positive sign. I think KU said that they expect him to be back at practice later this week and coach Saturday. So I think that's, kind of tells you how maybe they avoided what could have been something worse. I think that's a big thing. And from what it's worth, guys, I had heard that this was like the least, impactful of the three public incidents that we know of.
Good.
Obviously, that's I don't know what that exactly means because we don't know what the exact diagnosis of this stuff is. But I think that is a positive sign that he is able to coach and get back to practice, et cetera. And the fact that he was released, he was released from the hospital yesterday and he was back home.
I think that's incredible news. And who knows, maybe he could have gone if the timing would have been a little better to Colorado. But they did go and they got the win. They got their first road win, Shreyas, of the conference season. They continue, it looks like, to know how to play now with Darren Peterson being out there for the most part in a game, and they're starting to really find a groove. And I think everybody's kind of noticing. Somebody in the broadcast last night said, kind of looks like a Final Four team. I was joking. I'm like, no, hang on, be quiet there. We're all trying to let them sneak in here as we fill in our brackets. But they feel like they're on the right track again.
Yeah, I feel a lot more confident about this team. I think, yesterday was an ugly, greedy win for KU basketball, but it was the kind of win that they haven't gotten in the last 2 years, maybe 3 years, in a while, really. I think, they needed this win desperately. Colorado is not a great team, but they are pretty good at home. That altitude clearly has some sort of effect, and especially when KU plays 7 guys, you could see some of these guys getting winded, Peterson, Flory, etc. But to me, we can talk about the officiating, that one mistake or whatever. I don't really care about that. Like, obviously, I'm not, a Colorado fan, so I'm not going to go out there and be mad about it. But somebody was mad about me today saying it was a gritty win and nothing really seemed to go KU's way. But nothing really did seem to go KU's way. I mean, they didn't have Coach Bill Sept. Darren Peterson wasn't his usual self. I mean, he turned his ankle and he really wasn't that good. But, you see him make that banked-in three, shrug his shoulders and laugh. I think that's the embodiment of what the type of game KU played. Nobody really played particularly amazing outside of Trey White, I think. But guys did what they needed to do to get the win. Melvin Council had a good second half. Flory had some big points in the second half, great defense and great rebounding. Trey White was their most consistent guy all game yesterday. They helped fill in the slack for Darren, who had a kind of a rough shooting night. I think I want to say he ended up 6 of 14 or 6 of 15, something shooting wise.
Right at
probably
40%.
Yeah, probably his worst shooting percentage all year. And you could clearly see like the ankle was bothering him in the second half. He just couldn't quite move in the way that Darren Peterson moved. But it was a huge win, and it was a win they needed because they had been struggling to beat kind of middling to bad Big 12 teams on the road all year so far.
I was going to say, that was my next thing I was going to mention, is that I think you brought it up on social media yesterday. It was a big game because, KU loses that game the last 2 years, basically. And, you can make an argument KU loses that game 2 weeks ago before they, something clicked. And so is that, the positive sign to say that, maybe a tide has turned to go win a game like that?
Absolutely. I think, if they go out and win what seems like an annual loss in Manhattan, I feel a lot more confident about this team than I did even 2 weeks ago. And I think they'll beat Kansas State in Manhattan this time, mostly because they have Darren Peterson. And, if he is healthy and he plays, I think it'll be interesting to see just because, you remember a couple of years ago, guys, like in Manhattan, Jalen Wilson had 38. If Darren Peterson's healthy, I wouldn't be surprised if we see another 30-point game from Peterson against K-State and will win KU to victory. It's hard for KU to beat them in Manhattan, especially against Tang. But if they do, I think that's kind of an indication of where this team is at and why, they can win some games maybe they haven't the last 2 years.
Well, and it will be back-to-back road
Yes.
games. The rival, like all of it's there. That'd be a huge sign for where KU's headed. I agree. Real quick, football, the Dylan Edwards story. I mean, you got to be all in on that, right? Like it doesn't
Shreyas,
get.
Hold on. We're asking all of our insiders this week. Do you know the last time there was a KU and a K-State football player played for both?
I don't think so.
Come on, 1930s, Bob Gump.
Wow, was he good?
He played 1 year for each team. He's a starting guard on the offensive line, though.
Cannot verify his success.
Yeah, don't have stats, but he's on a roster.
Line. This is juice, man. This is everything we could ask for. The rivalry. He's an electric player. There's going to be some spite baked into this. Like that's got it all.
There's so much to it because I think it raises the ceiling of this team. Like for me right now, the ceiling of that team before Dylan Edwards came on was pretty low. I didn't have them winning more than maybe 5, maybe 6, just because we don't know what we're getting at from a quarterback, whoever starts, whether it's Isaiah Marshall or Chase or Cole Ballard, which to be said, I don't think it's going to be anybody besides Isaiah Marshall or Cole Ballard. I don't think James Jenkins can really get the job just looking at his stats, but who knows? Things can happen. But big time get for KU football. Pretty interesting because I'd heard some K-State coaches were telling other schools to avoid him. And interesting because, the Leipold-Kleiman relationship makes it even better.
I love it. Shreyas will follow you along at SHRE98. Find all your work at the KC Star. We appreciate it, and we will talk again next week.
All right, thanks for having me, guys.
All right. There goes Shreyas Laddha. We'll come right back. Get a little more Sports Daily for you. Don't go away.